logged into the back end of your website if you're not there already. Remember, it's at WP admin and then log in to your website. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is go down to where our particular templates design files are, or where the theme options are. So in this case, in this theme, it's under theme options. Keep in mind, some themes will be under appearance and they'll have their options around here somewhere. You can also click on appearance customize. I'm just going to quickly show you this. This is not where we're going to be doing anything on this particular template, but it is another way of being able to access the different areas. So I'm just going to quickly go through this, and you'll see general, layout, and there's all of the different settings in here. It is a quick, nice way to be able to see some of that. But I'm not gonna go in this one. I just wanted to show you that you can go in that area and make some setting changes. In our case, we're going to the theme options here, and I'm just gonna click on that, and we're gonna just go individually through this way. So what I recommend doing is I always test what I'm doing right away, and I'll show you how to do that. So to do that, we want to click open. We want to copy this, or actually you can highlight over this part of the bar up here and right click on visit site and click open in a new tab. That's going to open up your site. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click and drag this tab out so that it's actually opened in a new window. Now the cool thing about Windows, hopefully if you have a newer version of Windows, you can actually drag this and just move your mouse to half the side of the screen. It's going to open up there, and then all I need to do is pick the options that I was doing on the other side. So let's go through this systematically, and we're going to refresh this screen over here to see what it looks like. So I'm just going to dismiss this message here about cookies, and that's a good thing to have for your customer. This is a way to change the layout of your website. So boxed means that when somebody's viewing your website, it will be boxed in. It won't span the whole entire side of the screen. So play with these if you like. Okay. Use a site preloader. Let's see what that does. And I believe when you load your site, it just has a nicer load on the screen. So I think we're just going to leave that. Support chat. This is that instant chat. It comes with a template, I believe, and stuff. So you can either turn that or on or off. I'm just going to leave it on for now. And enable static blocks. Let's see what happens when we turn that off. So I'm just going to look down here. You can see it's squished in because we're sort of looking at it like a mobile view. So you can always click this maximize button to look at it real fast. And let's just take a look. So I'm just going to scroll down. Okay, and see what it looked like, minimize it. I can always just put it back where I need to, and I'm just going to click off. I'm going to see what happens. Okay, and then we're going to refresh it. Okay, and not sure exactly where those static blocks were, but if I can't find them, then maybe they weren't, they're nothing to do with this particular template anyways. Portfolio project. I think these are all just main articles. What I really like about this theme is how this came up around support. So it's asking for any support questions. It's really great way of just connecting with your customer. So I really like that. I don't really need to talk to her, so that's fine. Okay. So like I said, you can turn on and off these things and refresh the screen over here and see exactly what they do. So just scrolling down the screen, and I noticed that it did something here to the testimonials. I did turn it off and it just sort of whited it out. So I'm just going to go see exactly what happened. So it appears that this particular template, these are just blocks that you can turn on and off. There's another way around that, but I just wanted to show you that there is a way that you can turn it on and off different functionality depending on how the developer of the template has allowed you to do that. Okay, and so we can just click Save Changes. So just clicking through some more through the general. So we went through this layout here, and there's some more stuff. So header type. Okay, so the header is the top part of your website. So up here is the very top. This is the header up here. Okay, and it's squished in, so now it's got a mobile header there. But you can choose different options to see how it looks on your website. So for instance, if I click on this, save the changes, okay, and then refresh the page. Now when you refresh, hold down the control, make sure you have the page selected, hold down the control button and hit F5, okay, that forces an update on your website. And we're gonna see how this comes in. So I'm gonna make it bigger. Okay, as you can see, it's put this here. Looks like our menu is off to the side. I'm not personally a fan of this look. So I'm just, I think that look would be fine if you had 2 or 3 things in your heading. I'm personally really like the one that we already had set, but you can go through all of these different options and choose what works the best for you. So I'm just going to select the original one and save it. You select the one you would like and save that. All right, just scrolling down to make sure there's no other settings here. I don't see any. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and click header settings. Okay, now do you want a wide header or a not wide header? Well, I like the wide header. Like I said, the wide header is it fills the whole screen here, which I think looks really impressive. If we chose not to do it, it would fill only part of it and just maybe boxed in like that. So that's that one. Okay, and then header maximum width, okay, at 1600 pixels. And so that's how many dots it is across. Its maximum width is 1600 pixels before it'll start boxing in. Okay, is it a fixed header? If we turn this off, what'll happen is, I believe, and we should test this, this little thing won't drop when we start scrolling down. But let me just test it and find out. Like I said, you should go through each one of these settings and see what you like on your website. Eventually you become familiar with some of these settings no matter what template you get. And yeah, so you see it doesn't come down anymore. It just stays at the top and that's where it stays. I like how it comes down, so I'm going to keep it on. Okay, header overlaps the content. I'm liking that. I think if you don't do that, let's just turn that off and see what happens. Control F5 on this side. Okay, and yeah, see that setting is not good. As you can see, it clearly does something funny. So we are going to go ahead and turn that back on, and we're going to refresh this page. Put it back where it was. Okay, so it looks good. Basically what it was is this allows it to overlap this background. So if you never wanted it to overlap your background, you would set it to off. Because some of the text is white, you didn't see the logo or the heart or anything like that. So you would have to, in that case, we would later on have to go and change stuff to dark text. Here, well, actually it's right here. So header text, color. If you have a very light background here, you would want to probably have your header text being dark. Or in this case, this is a fairly light background. White works well with it. Here's the colors. So if you decide not to turn your header overlapping your image, you can also change some of the header background. So that would have been that white bar that had showed up, and you would do that by changing these settings and saving them. Okay. Background repeating, meaning if you had a pattern, an image that was a pattern, and you could upload your image here, it would just repeat over and over again. And there's different ways of it repeating, horizontally, vertically, and things like that. I encourage you to play around with it if you're interested in doing that. Okay, fixed header. So this is when it comes down. What color do we want it to be? Well, because we have this as white, we definitely want it as dark. So that's a good feature to have. Now, if you change this color up here, you might want to change its color. So here, in this case, we could change this to maybe if we were going for sort of a green background, you might want to change the font color. So let's see what would look good with a white. I'm just going to show this an example. It probably won't look very good at all, but we're going to save that. We're going to go here. We're going to go Control F5. And we're going to see what it looks like with black. So there it is there. You see how it came down and now it's blue. And that might not look good with it being dark. So I would change that to white, save it. Okay, we're going to go Control F5. Oops, I did that on the wrong screen. We're going to do it on this one. There we go. So we can see it's white here. It didn't change our logo because we're going to have to go and do that, but it did change the colors of the stuff over here. Okay, so I obviously don't like that. I'm going to be getting rid of the color here. So just click the clear button, okay, and that would get rid of that problem. So I'm just going to save the changes, and we're going to go over here, Control F5, and see what this looks like. And I'll bet this is going to disappear because it's white. See it? It's disappeared because you can't see it. So we're going to flip it back to dark. Save it. Control F5. And let's refresh it. There it is. It's back to being black again. Okay, so that's a good way. Play around with the colors. And I will be giving some supplementary videos on choosing some colors and some ways of looking at complementary colors and things like that. Okay, going down, we've done this header bit. Okay, enable top bar. I think the top bar in some themes, or maybe if we expand it out, see this top bar up here where it had this information? You might not want to have that there. You know, it really depends on what you like to have. Some people don't like to have that. They just want their logo and as much real estate on the top as possible for that. So in that case, down here, we would probably want to add areas for people to log into their account and things like that, because this is a good area for people to go up and see their cart and see where to log in. Okay, so I'm just going to minimize that again, put that back, and just continue to go down. So I would turn that off if I didn't want to have that. And of course, you can change its background color. So they're very in depth of what you can do there. Okay, so here's the logo image for the top bar. So we're just going to take a look at that. So we can upload our own logo. Okay, so I've opened up this website. This is, now I wouldn't recommend you doing this to create your logo. I'm just doing this just to show you an example. Most websites have logos that are they're more horizontal than they are vertical. This is good for websites because obviously it doesn't have to take up a whole bunch of real estate on your website. So if you can, and you do have somebody make a logo, or if you're really good at using Photoshop or Adobe Illustrator or something like that to make your own logo, try and make it more horizontal than vertical if you can. So I'm just going to do our website one in this. Okay. And it's just gonna dynamically generate it. Okay, text size is 70. I'm guessing it's 70 pixels up and down. Okay, and what we're gonna do is test to see how big our logo probably should be. So what I do is I always go and look at the one that's already there, this Xstore one. Now to do it and find out how big it is, you can right click on it and go inspect. Okay, that's gonna inspect that logo for us. And because we're kind of working on a small screen, I'm just going to actually maximize this window, okay? So we can see. So this might be down here for you. It's right here. I can see the logo here. So it's squishing it actually. It's squishing it down. So see how I highlight over it? And it starts highlighting elements on my website? Well, this is highlighting the logo. So I think, yeah, this one. All right, and so it's naturally 312 by 56 pixels. So that's probably what I'm going to do with my logo is make sure it's 312 by, well, at least 56 pixels high. The 312 is the length and the 56 is the height, and it's always length times height. Okay, so that's what we'll do when we open up that other window again. This one. Okay, and so we're going to make this 56. Just like that. Okay, so that's going to keep it the same size as that one. Okay, and I guess we'll just create it. Okay, and see what happens. Okay, so here it is, and I can just download it. So it's come right down to my computer here, and I can open it up. And it opened up over here. Okay, so this is just showing an example. This is not going to look pretty. As this is a course on creating websites, we'll have hopefully another course on doing graphic design work. So I'm just going to make sure that I know the location that this logo downloaded to, and we're going to make sure that we upload this now to our website. Okay, so now I can close this out. I'm going to minimize that again and just put it off to the side and make sure I select my option here. This one, that's the one I'm looking for. So now we're going to go ahead and upload the logo here. Okay, so now we got our media library. And what's cool is we can just click and drag that image file that we had downloaded into it, and it will just download nicely for us. Just going to be done. Should be able to click OK here. This little bubble here is in the way. We're just going to click Save Changes, and let's save it. And we're going to go ahead and Control F5 to refresh. Okay, there's our logo there. Now, like I said, again, it's not meant to be pretty, but it's just going to give us an idea that that's how we go and change our logo. Now, as you can see, it's already coming down here. If we want, we can also change the logo here. In this case, for instance, this green doesn't overly work well with a lot of the background here. It works okay with this here. It works okay already with a kind of a green line on top. So I might actually have a different logo for this one, this main one, like a different color scheme than I would for this one, which is a light background, which you can get away with obviously a darker logo there. But I'm going to go ahead and leave that. If you did want to have a different color scheme for either one of those, you can. Here's the max width is 170. You can also change that to make it a little bit bigger. And what that'll do is it'll just grow your logo just slightly. So let's just see what happens. Yeah, so it made it a little bit bigger. But just keep in mind, if you made your logo a certain size, and you're actually growing it bigger than what it is, it'll start to become a little bit blurry. So you want to make sure that you don't grow it bigger than it needs to be. Okay, so wish list icon position. I believe that's this here. When I hover over, I can see at the bottom of this window, it says nuclearlearning.com/wishlist. So this is the position of that. We can put it anywhere we want, or we can just disable the wish list button altogether. I'm of the mind to keep it. I mean, the more things that you can allow your customers to interact with, the better. Some people might err on the side of simplicity, but I rather just err on the side of give them as many tools as they can. Okay, enable a sign-in link. So this is an ability to sign into your website on or off. You can set that. Okay, so here we go to enable a search form. So let's just look up here to see if we have anything like that. I'm just going to go here. So to enable the search form, right, we want to pick something. There's nothing by default, but maybe we select the header. And it gives some more options when I just did that. So it's does it want to do Ajax searching? What Ajax search is instead of your page, when you click submit, when you decide to search for something, it refreshes the page and it opens up a new one with that. Ajax does it in the background, and it just nicely and dynamically does it well in the background of your site and just updates the page that you're on. It looks a lot more slicker, on using stuff like that. So I'm going to leave it. Search by posts, products, SKU, so you can keep all of this. So maybe you don't want to search on posts, like for instance, you don't want people to search for your blog posts from your main website. Maybe you only want to search by products. So you can always select that off. And things like that. So, and then here's your shopping cart icon here. And so you can pick whichever one. I like this little basket. So I'm gonna pick save changes. Maybe you're grandiose and you like a full-on shopping cart and because you want people to buy lots of stuff, but I'm gonna be modest and pick the little basket here. Okay, so I've picked a few things. Saved it. I'm gonna go ahead and click Control F5 to refresh. Okay. And let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to maximize the screen. Now we have the search icon here. Okay. So when I click on this search icon, it doesn't seem to do anything. When I click down here and I click on it, I can type in and search for something here. So that may be, and you see how it said no results were found without even me hitting enter or submitting anything. That's that Ajax, which is really nice. Normally it comes with some results here. So let's see. Let's see if it has shirt. There we go. It automatically came up. I didn't hit enter or anything. So that's really nice. But I would say, hey, there's a little bit of a bug that it doesn't allow me to search from this area here. So this is going to happen. It happens with anything, no matter what you're doing. You're always going to come across and stumble across issues. This is something that I would actually talk to the support people about. So I'd normally just minimize my screen, go like this, click on this chat window, and I'd say, hey, this isn't working as expected. Is there any way we can fix this? So here I've written something really quick. Hi there, I noticed the search icon doesn't work unless you scroll down and use it on the fixed header. I like to use the language that they use inside this tool so they understand what you're talking about. They've given that, in the background here. So just use the same language. It's easier. Is there any way to fix this? Now, somebody might reply right away, or I'll get an email in return, and hopefully they'll email me and let me fix it. Okay. Another thing you can also type is, oh, there. Don't miss a reply. So we're going to get notified by email. Okay. So that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and put my email address in here and then submit it. Perfect. So that's done. I'm going to continue going down here. Icon with background is an extra thing. You just toggle these and see how they go. Show cart numbers of items on the favicon. Up here is the favicon, but I think you can have cart items up in the favicon. That is such a cool feature. And people can see it right on the top. So where this little paper is, and in a lot of websites, you'll see their different little icons up here. So that's what a favicon is. Now, as you saw just a second ago, I had a sudden interaction with the support folks that make this theme. And so I was able to talk to them about it. And I guess there was nothing really wrong with the tool. It was working fine. There's the search. It works fine there, and when you maximize it, I tested it again, it worked. So I just refreshed the page. I think it actually has something to do maybe with the video, because when the video, oh, there you go. I just refreshed, it works there, and I can type in the search thing there, and it found it. I didn't need to have to press enter or anything like that. So it does work. And they just showed us that it did work, so that's great. But a great example of good support, and hopefully if you do buy, this is why it's important to buy good premium themes that have lots of good star ratings, and people are getting support that they need if there are any problems ever. So just going to finish off now. And so the background color for cart number label, this would be up here, just a label around the number. I'm going to leave it transparent. This is selected color. As you can see, it looks, this little squares in the back with white and gray, that denotes transparency, so you can see through. So I'm just going to leave that. And I think we're just going to leave this all as defaults. Perfect. Okay, so let's scroll to the top and see what we got here. We got some more stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to conclude this video, and we'll pick up the rest of these settings in the next videos.